Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good morning, dear students. I'm glad to meet you again after this break due to the issues of the coronavirus. I hope all of you are well, and I'm asking you to stay at home and don't go outside unless there's an important issue, and be safe and stay at home. I would like to tell you that we will start our lectures, and we'll continue our lectures through online, and I want you to know that I put a lecture in the Moodle, so you can get it from there and download it. And I will talk today about some issues from this lecture. And as I remember, we talked about previously. We talked about the peripheral nerves, and we talked about the peripheral nerves in the upper limb. So we will continue the peripheral nerves in the lower limbs. We will start our talk about the femoral nerve. The femoral nerve is one of the major peripheral nerves in the lower limb. So the femoral nerve is the largest branch of the lumbar plexus. If you remember that the lumbar plexus is, or lumbosacral plexus, is one of the plexuses that are present in the starting of the upper limbs and the lower limbs, that the nerves and nerve fibers are intermingled with each other in these plexuses, and then they distribute through the peripheral nerves to the upper limbs and to the lower limbs. So we talked about the lumbosacral plexus. Previously, we said that the nerve roots from the lumbar nerve roots and sacral nerve roots that come out from the spinal cord, they unite in the lumbosacral plexus, and then they redistribute into the nerves, into the peripheral nerves, and distribute through these nerves in the to the structures in the lower limbs, like, for example, muscles, and the sensory nerves come from the skin and joints. They go through these nerves to the lumbar, to the lumbosacral plexus, then to the spinal cord. So one of the largest branch of the lumbar plexus is the femoral nerve. Femoral nerve arises from the dorsal divisions of the ventral rami of the second, third, and fourth lumbar nerves. So it composed of L2, from L2 to L4, L2, L3, L4, and these are the dorsal divisions. Dorsal divisions means the posterior divisions of these nerve roots. Okay, it innervates these muscles: the iliacus muscle, pectineus muscle, sartorius muscle. So the motor branches go to these muscles: iliacus, pectineus, sartorius. And also the muscles which extend the knee, these are called quadriceps femoris. Quadriceps femoris composed of a group of muscles. These are rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius. So these muscles together, they extend, they are called quadriceps or quadriceps femoris, and they extend the knee. They extend the knee. You have flexion and extension of the knee. So extension of the knee is done by the quadriceps or quadriceps femoris, which compose of these muscles. So the nerve, the femoral nerve, is also responsible for sensation. So we said the motor branches go to these muscles, and the sensory branches come from the inner sides of the thigh, inner sides, medial side of the thigh, the shin, also the medial side, or it comes from the shin, whole shin, and the arch of the foot. So arch of the foot, it is beneath the foot. We have an arch beneath the foot. It comes from there, from the shin. The shin is the straight part of the leg. The straight part of the leg is called the shin. So the sensory branches come from there, and the sensation of the inner side of the thigh also go to the spinal cord through the femoral nerve. Okay. So and now, so this is the femoral nerve. Femoral nerve, as we said, comes from the dorsal rami of the L2, L3, L4. These are the nerve roots, L2, L3, L4, and they go to the lumbosacral plexus. Then they come out inside the femoral nerve into the anterior aspect of the lower limb. They supply pectineus muscle, sartorius muscle, and quadriceps muscles. Quadriceps femoris muscle, which composed of four muscles. Okay. The saphenous nerve is the sensory nerve of the femoral, the sensory branch of the femoral nerve, which supplies the inner thigh, as we said, the shin, and the arch of the foot. So these are the sensory supply of the femoral nerve. Okay, so inner thigh, shin, this is the shin. Okay, so it's supplied, this is the straight part of the leg. The shin is supplied by the femoral nerve, and the arch of the foot, is supplied by femoral nerve. This area is supplied by obturator nerve, the nerve which we'll talk later on about it. This is the yellow part is obturator nerve. So femoral nerve comes from the L2, L3, L4. It supplies these muscles, and this part of the green part is the femoral nerve. Okay. Now, so this is about the femoral nerve. What about the obturator nerve? So the obturator nerve is the other nerve which comes also from L2, L3, L4 and goes to the lumbar plexus. These are ventral divisions of the L2, L3, L4. So L2, L3, L4, the dorsal divisions, posterior divisions will form the femoral nerve, while the ventral divisions will form the obturator nerve, and also comes from the lumbar plexus. The obturator nerve is responsible for the sensory innervation of the skin of the medial aspect of the thigh. Medial aspect of the thigh, as it was shown in the figure previously. The nerve is also responsible for the motor innervation of the adductor muscles of the lower limb. So these are external obturator, adductor longus, adductor brevis, adductor magnus, and gracilis muscle. So come to back. So we said the yellow part is the obturator nerve. Obturator nerve comes from the ventral rami or ventral branch of the L2, L3, L4 nerve roots, and they form obturator nerve. They supply obturator externus, adductor magnus, gracilis, adductor longus, and adductor brevis. Okay, adductor brevis. Pectineus, take care about that. Pectineus is supplied by the femoral nerve, while adductor brevis is supplied by obturator nerve. Okay, and this is the skin area which is supplied by the obturator nerve. This is other figure shows obturator nerve comes down here and under the linea terminalis and the pubic part of the pelvis, pubic bone. It goes to the femoral triangle here, and the femoral area supplies these muscles. Okay, the adductor muscles and the gracilis muscles and obturator externus muscle. So these are the muscles supplied by obturator nerve. Okay, now we will talk about another major nerve of the lower limb, which is the sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve or the sciatic nerve is a large nerve in humans and animals. So it's a large nerve. It is one of the largest nerves of the human. It begins in the lower back and runs through the buttock, okay, and down to the lower limb. So it goes through back of the lower limb. It is the longest and widest single nerve in the human body. So it is the longest and widest single nerve, okay, in the human body. It's going from the top of the leg to the foot on the posterior aspect. So it goes through posterior from the top of the leg or top of the lower limb to the foot. The sciatic nerve provides the connection to the nervous system for nearly the whole of the skin of the leg. So it covers the whole, nearly whole skin of the leg. Apart from the parts which are supplied by obturator and femoral nerve, all other skin of the lower limb is supplied by the supplied by sciatic nerve. The muscles of the back of the thigh are supplied by the sciatic nerve. All the muscles in the back of the thigh and those of the leg and foot or are supplied. The muscles of the leg and the foot or are supplied by the sciatic nerve. This is derived from the spinal nerves L4 to S3. So L4, L5, S1, S2, S3, and contains fibers from both the anterior and posterior divisions of the lumbosacral plexus. So dorsal and ventral divisions of the nerve roots, they go to the, from the lumbosacral plexus, they go to the sciatic nerve. So sciatic nerve is a long and a wide nerve, contains a lot of nerve roots, anterior and posterior divisions of L4, L5, S1, S2, S3, and supply most of the skin and most of the muscles of the lower limb. The sciatic nerve at the popliteal fossa will divide into two branches. The tibial nerve, which travels down the posterior compartment of the leg into the foot. So tibial nerve, this goes through the posterior compartment of the leg, posterior aspect of the leg, okay? And the common peroneal nerve or common fibular nerve, the same name, which travels down the anterior and lateral compartments of the leg. So this travels down the anterior and lateral and anterior compartment of the leg, while the tibial nerve travels through the posterior part of the leg. These are divided into deep and superficial peroneal nerves. The common peroneal nerve will be divided into deep and superficial peroneal nerves. The sciatic nerve supplies sensation to the skin of the foot as well as the entire lower leg, except for its inner side. Its inner side is supplied by the femoral nerve. Yes, femoral nerve. Sensation to the skin, to the sole of the foot, is provided by the tibial nerve. So, sole of the foot is supplied by the tibial branch of the sciatic nerve. And the lower leg and upper surface of the foot is supplied by the common fibular or common peroneal nerve. Okay? So, the sole of the leg, the sole and the lower part of the foot, okay, supplied by the tibial branch of the sciatic nerve, the skin of the sole of the foot, while the upper and the lower leg and the upper surface of the foot is supplied by the common peroneal or common fibular nerve. Now, the sciatic nerve also innervates muscles, in particularly through the tibial nerve. It supplies the muscles in the posterior compartment of the leg. So the muscles, the posterior compartment of the leg, are supplied by tibial nerve. And the sole of the foot, the plantar aspect of the foot, the muscles are supplied by tibial nerve. So tibial nerve supplies the skin of the sole, also the muscles in the sole of the foot, and also supplies the posterior compartment leg muscles, posterior compartment of the leg of the muscles. The muscles of the leg in the posterior compartment. Okay. In the common tibial nerve will supply the muscles in the anterior and lateral compartments of the leg. Anterior and compartments of the leg. The muscles in the anterior and the lateral compartments of the leg are supplied by the common peroneal nerve. So this is the sciatic nerve. As we see, it's a wide nerve composed of multiple nerve fibers, anterior or ventral and dorsal branch of the nerve roots from L4 up to S3, down to S3. So, as we said, it divides into tibial nerve and common peroneal nerves. The sciatic nerve will be divided into tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve, as it's shown in this figure. So, It passes through the muscles of the buttock, then goes down to the posterior aspect of the thigh. Okay. Now these are the skin areas that are supplied by many nerves. Okay. So the genitofemoral nerve will supply skin supply of this area. The anteromedial part of the upper part of the thigh. We have hypogastric area. These are supplies the inguinal areas which lie the upper part of the thigh anteriorly, which lie beneath the inguinal ligament. Okay, beneath the line of the inguinal ligament are supplied by these nerves. Lateral femoral cutaneous nerve of the thigh. This is a separate nerve. It's not a branch of the nerves we mentioned before. This nerve comes from the lumbosacral plexus and supplies the skin of the lateral aspect of the thigh. It's called lateral femoral cutaneous nerve of the thigh. The femoral nerve supplies this blue area, as we said, medial aspect of the thigh and the medial aspect and the shin of the leg, medial aspect of the leg and the arch of the foot, medial aspect of the foot. Okay, this is the blue area supplied by the femoral. The yellow area is supplied by obturator nerve, while the sciatic nerve supplies most of the skin of the lower limb posteriorly, as we say, the green area, and also lateral aspect of the leg and the dorsum of the foot, the lateral aspect of the foot. So these are the branches of the sciatic nerve, include superficial peroneal nerves, sural nerve in this area, and this is the saphenous nerve is a branch of the cutaneous branch of the femoral nerve. Okay. Okay. And I will stop here. So I hope you will get benefit from my explanation of the peripheral nerves, but please to try to download the lecture too and read it in order to understand it. Thank you very much, and see you soon, inshallah. Goodbye.